The second example under skill 1, f of x is equal to 5x to the fourth minus 15x squared plus 10. First of all, we'll find the zeros, we'll determine the multiplicity, and then we'll plot and graph. So finding zeros, we'll simplify. So first thing we can factor out 5. 5x to the fourth minus 3x squared plus 2. And with this one, we can see this is the pattern of x squared minus 3x plus 2. And you can use u substitution if you want. Let u equals x squared, or you can just jump ahead and factor. What are the factors of 2 that add up to negative 3? Well, it's going to be negative 2 and negative 1 are the factors of positive 2 that add up to negative 3. And since this is x to the fourth, we're talking about x squareds instead of just x's. So here, this 5 here, if we set each factor equal to 0, 5 equals 0, that's a constant, which is not a true equation. So we get x squared minus 2 is equal to 0, and x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. So x squared equals 2, x squared is equal to 1. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 2, x equals plus or minus 1. So when we solve all the zeros, we get 4 zeros, plus or minus square root of 2, plus or minus 1. Second thing we look at is the multiplicity. The multiplicity for all these is 1, because they only occur once. We get a positive square root of 2, a negative square root of 2, a positive 1, and a negative 1. We've got no duplicates in terms of answers, so the multiplicity is 1 for all of them. That's an odd multiplicity. So for every single one of these zeros, we're going to cross the x-axis. So finally, to draw a quick graph of this, we've got 5x to the fourth. 5x to the fourth is the leading coefficient. X to the fourth, being even, tells us that it's going to be either up and up or down and down, same direction. The positive 5 in front tells us our result is going to be up and up. So we know our end result is going to be up and up. We know we've got a negative square root of 2, a negative 1, a positive 1, and a positive square root of 2 as our two zero values. And then every single time our graph crosses or gets to a 0 value, it's going to cross the x-axis. I don't know how far up or how low that's going to go, but I do know that that's the general idea of what the graph is going to look like. It might be stretched way down here or go way up there, but the general idea is every single time it crosses that x-axis, you're going to have it go between the positive and negative side. If I wanted to find relative maxes and mins, right here would be a relative min, right here would be a relative min, and then up here is relative max. Doing the same thing, plugging your equation in, and then doing second calc, and choosing minimum and maximum, and then doing left bound and right bound. The second skill then is finding a polynomial function given the zero values, and for that we're just going to work in reverse. If I give you the zero values, what are the factors, and then we'll factor everything out. So we've got two steps here. Step 1 is we're going to convert zeros to factors, which is going to be the big first step. And then step 2 is going to be foiling, multiplying, doing any algebra that you would in order to simplify. So the first one here is 0 and negative 9. I want to convert each of these zeros into factors. So I know this is x equals 0 and x equals negative 9. How do I convert those two factors? Well, in order to be a factor, I need to have the equation itself equal to 0. So here I already have a factor. It's going to be just x. Over here, I need to move my 9 to the other side so it's equal to 0. So now I've got my two factors. It's x, and x plus 9 is going to be my function. And then when I multiplied it out, x squared plus 9x is equal to my function. With my second one down here, negative 2, negative 7, and positive 9, It's x equals negative 2, x equals negative 7, and x is equal to 9. Remember, to convert zeros to factors, our equations here need to be equal to 0. So my factors, x plus 2, x plus 7, and then x minus 9. Once I've got my three factors, we'll FOIL everything out. So my function is going to be a result of x plus 2, x plus 7, and x minus 9. So first thing we'll do is we'll FOIL out the first two, which this one is going to be x squared plus 9x plus 14 when you FOIL it all out. Once I FOIL that first piece out, I then have to distribute the x to each of these terms and then the negative 9 to each of the terms. If I do that, x cubed plus 9x squared plus 14x, and then I'll distribute the negative 9 to each piece. Negative 9x squared minus 81x minus 126. And then finally, I'll combine my like terms. X cubes, I can see my 9x squareds cancel. 14x and minus 81x is negative 67x, and then minus 126. So there's my original polynomial function that I started out with.